Let me guess, you from the town that I love best. Talk Memphis, I wish you would. Talk Memphis, you sound so good.
We're going to start off and we're going to go to South Memphis today. You've heard me on this show talk about one of these zip codes. 38118 is one of my favorites. We're going to start off with 38109. We're just going to work our way west to east. So let's hit 38109. I've got mixed. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's been interesting because we went west to east from the river.
Yep.
Last week, and if you look at the data as we'll go through it today, just kind of a high level from west to east, from the river going the south
on the south
side.
That's right.
The how the prices and the activity go up west to east, the same thing. Mm-hmm. North of the city, south of the city, same thing, except for Whitehaven 38116, which we'll get into in a little bit, which I thought was interesting. I'm a data numbers guy.
Yes,
so
and we've got it today.
And why we can talk to the audience why that is, why you see that jump.
Okay.
So,
all right. So in 38109, number of home sales is this is all this calendar year from January 1 of 18 up until I guess the beginning of this month. Number of home sales in 38109 is 415. That's up 17% from 2017.
So it's interesting because that zip code, out of the 6 we're doing today, it's the highest number of sales for the year in that zip code.
Why do you think that is?
Because I feel like I've just watched on Facebook and the wholesalers and investors, they're seeing that, oh wow, I can still get a decent price, put some money in it, fix it up, and get a decent rent. Mm-hmm. So there's some juice in there for them to
109.
And 109.
I think our Turnkey guys are going down there too.
Absolutely.
I've picked up on that in the last week or two.
Yeah. So that's the new Turnkey area. That.
And I think too, it also lends an opportunity for someone to take advantage of a buyer. These are another reasons why I like discussing these. Mm-hmm. You get 3rd Street or Highway 61 splits 38109 right down the middle. And we've talked about this many times. If you go too far west, of 3rd Street, which is Highway 61, you get a block or two west, you're in danger zone. Yeah. And what I mean by that is tough tenants, high turnover,
longer vacancies.
I
mean, when I get that question, I always tell them, to your point, actually 1 or 2 half a mile within 3rd Street on the west side, we can rent fairly quickly, good stable tenants. You go about a mile deep.
It's so funny, it just cuts off.
It just cuts off because there's nothing going on down there. There's no stores. There's a lot of old buildings that are boarded up. There's a lot of people just walking around, hanging out.
Very similar to what we said last week on
the west
of
Fraser.
Fraser up in North 51. Haven, up in 51. Similar type scenario.
And so that's why you're regurgitating. You're just moving tenants around. There's not a new influx of people that, and people growing up and wanting, there's people still living with their families, and they're 20-something years old. And, you don't want to generalize, but that's kind of why you see vacancies taking 60 days, because it takes us a long time to find a tenant that can qualify.
Yeah, there's no jobs, there's no commercial development,
right.
There's no nothing.
So it's usually, government checks and different things that are causing the lower income, the ratios aren't there. So we have to sit there and sift through, to protect our clients' interests. So this
will tell you too, number of investor purchases is 309, which is 74% of the total sales in the zip code. So that'll tell you, I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't find a good home. One thing I will tell you is that you got to be east of 3rd. Not have to, but
close.
You're real close to.
You're better. Your odds are up. Your success rate's higher,
much higher to stay
on the east side. Yeah,
that's right. Average. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I remember 20 years ago when I moved there. There was a thriving drive-in movie.
Yeah,
there was a ton of activity. Skating rinks
down there. Yeah,
I know you used to skate every week, right? Every Friday night. It was a disco ball.
Couples only.
I'd love to see that. Actually,
would you?
I'd pay for that.
Pay good money for that.
But I went down to the drive-in theater 20 years ago when I first moved here because I didn't,
you just didn't know.
I didn't know what the area was like, but it was a thriving area.
That's right.
And so it's still okay. So not bad.
The mayor used to live down there.
I think does he
in
still?
Westwood? I don't know.
Yeah.
Mayor Harrington.
Start a rumor.
So average investor price is just under $40,000. Tax appraisals are $45,000 roughly. Mm-hmm. Number of foreclosures are 84.
Which is the highest we've talked about, right? That was even higher than Fraser, I believe.
It was higher.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of those down there. So 38109, good opportunity. Good, I'll even say add. Good value add. There are some homes that are, the 3.1.5s, 3.2s that are brick, 1,200, 1,300 square feet that you can put a roof on, put an HVAC on, do some cosmetic stuff, and keep a tenant in there. So there are opportunities. I will caution you, though, what I do see a lot of and what I want to preach to investors you'll occasionally find a home that's for sale for $50,000, $60,000 on the wrong side of third. So just be careful where you're looking at those, specific properties. If you have any questions that on this zip code, let us know, email, we'll be happy to answer any exact questions about a specific house. But part of 109 is Whitehaven. So, I mean, it's that eastern part of 38109 is solid. And what I mean by solid is I'd buy there. I mean, there's properties over there that are, can get some good rental numbers.
And most of those houses are brick.
Most of them are. Almost all. So that's that's a plus. I try not to buy anything that isn't.
That's right.
It hasn't worked out that way, but I try not to.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I mean, beautiful yards. I mean, like I said, it's good. It's got a lot of potential. So hopefully we'll see I'd love to see some businesses and some retail strip centers and stuff get, re-energizing that area. That's what it needs. And just influx of some jobs. And so
38109. Now let's keep going east into 38116. So part of 109 and 106 are in Whitehaven. Whitehaven overlaps into both zip codes. This is Elvis Presley land. This is
Graceland.
This Graceland is in Whitehaven. Now Highway 51 splits Whitehaven in half. It drives right down the middle, which is Elvis. No, let me change that. 51 does, and then Elvis Presley Boulevard also. That's not the same road. 51 and Elvis Presley are two different roads, but they split it right down the middle. What you'll find in Whitehaven in 116 is a little bit different because the history of it is this was the first kind of premier suburban subdivision. Now, we talked about Fraser and Raleigh up north. Those were more middle-class subdivisions that were developed. You come down south in Whitehaven, this was our, Germantown and Collierville of today. There's plenty of 3,000 square foot rental homes. I think you guys actually have one. If I'm right.
We have.
Yeah. So there's a plenty
beautiful home, by the way.
Yeah,
columns, big.
Right. That's what
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it long term, but it's a big
rent that thing out, man.
I'll move down there. It's bigger than my personal house. So.
Yeah. So 116, high apartments, lots of apartments.
Well, here's an interesting thing. This is the one I was talking about. Like the average sales price spikes up here. Like if we go through all the other zip codes, they kind of gradually go up west to east. This one actually spikes up and then goes back down as you go east for a minute, and then as it gradually goes back up. So because of the Graceland and all the other businesses that have come, and I can't think of any specific businesses right now, but
they just developed. They had a huge hotel they just opened next to Graceland. They've got I don't know what other theme attractions they added, but an enormous
Krispy
hotel.
Kreme Donuts has always been down there.
Yeah, that has been down there.
That's a big attraction.
They've got some good barbecue on Elvis Presley Boulevard too. True. So Whitehaven to me is a little bit different it does have some commercial presence. It is thriving in a sense because of Graceland, because of that area down there. I mean, they get all kinds of tourists and things every year. Now, of course, those aren't renters, but what it does is it keeps up the commercial real estate presence there. There's jobs, there's activity for middle-class jobs there, hence all the apartments there. So let's read some of these stats real quick on 38116. Number of home sales is 251 this year. So if you look, that's 200 less than 109. That's up 7% from 2017. Average home sales price is $78,000. So you can see there we're almost double than what we are in 38109.
That shows me that sales price 70. That shows you a lot of turnkey activity.
That's right.
A lot of people buying, selling, renting it, and selling it as a turnkey.
That's right. Average investor price is $69,651. I can remember, Dan, 4 or 5 years ago that was in the 40s.
Oh, I always wanted to be in the 40s in 3116 when I was buying down there.
That's right. So it's really taken a bump. That's a good thing. Number of foreclosures is just 35.
Wow.
That's
low.
Yeah, that's 30%.
What is that?
Less,
a couple
25%.
of months? 3 months? No, 6 a month?
About not many.
Not many
in an area that you would think you'd have more.
That's right.
Average foreclosure amount is $62,000. So, Whitehaven, to me, if you can find a solid 850 rental over there, 850 rental for $60,000, I think you're in business. If you got a brick home, and it's pretty well taken care of, I think you're in good shape in either one of these zip codes. So, I mean, both of these are south of Memphis. The 116 is also, one thing to point out. It's near our airport. Lots of jobs, logistical jobs and things like that. What were you about to say?
No, I think you said this. I mean, the average rent it's the lowest rents really in that area are $800.
$750 maybe, but I mean, it ain't much lower than that.
Maybe. So, to me, when we talk about stability of tenants, this is a good area. That's why it's what we see, because when you get 800 plus, you're commanding a different type of tenant.
That's right.
Working class, they're actually working, making good income. So usually double incomes as well. So that's very helpful.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's do one more for our break here. 38118. So we're moving west to east. Mm-hmm. We started with 38109. 116 is Whitehaven. Let's move to 118. 38118. If you guys have listened to the show at all and with any kind of consistency, you've heard me say that 38118 is my favorite zip code, and it still is. There's others that have over time, the last year or so, that have popped up on my radar here in Memphis, but 118 is a really good zip code. So let's take another walk back into history. When 38116 is thriving, they're building 3,000 square foot homes. It's a suburban area. Families are moving in. As that was happening, you were getting more and more of a demand for that area, but we couldn't afford. Not everyone could afford the big 3,000 square foot homes and that sort of thing. Similar to what has happened in different areas of the city. So what happens are builders, and so they go a little further east where the land is a little cheaper, and they develop homes. So what you can get in 118 are still brick homes, generally one level.
Generally ranch style, yeah.
That's right. 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths are not uncommon. 2 baths are definitely not uncommon, but you can find a good mixture of 3 ones as well.
Yeah.
You're going to get larger lots because they were built for families. When these were originally built, they weren't built to stack every home on top of each other for rentals. They were built for families, so you can have a bigger lot.
I know a ton of people, friends of ours, that grew up in 38118.
Several people that I've come in contact with have been like, man, I used to live down in that area.
Oh, yeah.
It exactly explains kind of what we're going through of the development of the city.
And evolving, right.
So 118 is with all that, with the houses, the lot sizes, this is right below our airport. Lots of people, lots of jobs at our airport. FedEx World Headquarters is here. We land, 500 some odd planes a day, whatever that number is. But you've got a huge logistical presence over by the airport. Warehouses, tug drivers. I mean, you got all kinds of jobs at our airport. A lot of people's airports are war zones. Ours isn't.
Right.
38118, 116 are good rental pockets. I think you can get, I know because we're about to show you, but you can get into 118 for a little less expensive than you can into 116. Now, I will caution you on 118. There are some pockets, Birdsong Ferry. I mean, there's a couple of pockets where it is tough to rent.
Yeah, Apple Blossom, Flower Pleach.
Well, that's in 115.
Is it 115?
Yeah,
okay.
But
right,
still,
we'll
but yeah, we're on our way because that's coming. But Birdsong Ferry.
Anything around Goodlet?
Yeah, anything around there, you're going to really struggle to keep a tenant. Gang activity, it's just a whole lot of things that deter tenants.
That's what I'm very hopeful for. I'm going to a dinner Wednesday night to the Collective. I want to give them a shout out. They're helping 18 to 24-year-olds help them. There's 40,000, I think I've said that on the show, 40,000 of these guys that are not working and not getting to school. So
what are they doing?
A ton of them. I wish I knew the number. I'm going to ask her Wednesday night so I can come back on the radio and show and tell you, but I would think a high percentage of those are in 38118. I don't know why it is, but there's a ton, which leads to the gang activity, which leads to a lot of the issues that sometimes we see in certain pockets of 38118. But overall, it's a good zip code. I mean, good, solid, families, but they've got, that second generation of kids. There's some issues there we've got to resolve with our schools and with
just keep them off the streets,
keeping them off the streets and get them, energized to do something productive and not, in the negative zone. So
one other area I want to point out in 118, if you're looking at a map and you see our airport directly east of the airport, that's a tough area. A lot of people call me because they're getting good deals up there.
Okay.
But you're literally right beside the airport.
Off of Winchester?
Yeah, north of Winchester.
Yeah.
So you're literally to the east of the airport. So what you're finding over there is airplanes, the
noise.
The noise. I mean, now you're around an airport, but right there is directly beside it.
Right.
You got constant activity. Prices of homes really go down over there. Let me give you a few stats on 118. Number of home sales this year is 384. That's down 7% from 17, which is the first one of those we found.
Yeah.
Average home sales price, $63,000. That's up. Number of bank sales is 32.
So think about that 13% from 63,000. I mean, that means we were, kind of the same thing in Whitehaven. Like you wanted to be in the 50s
55
before
60.
for a house at 318. Now you're going to be 60 plus, right?
It looks like it. That's the average.
Average, yep.
The average investor price is 63,000. So yeah, I mean you're going to be above it if you're trying to get in over here. Number of foreclosures is 51. That seems normal to me. That doesn't seem like a high or low number. Average foreclosure amount is 53,000. So you're very similar to 116 as far as tenant base, volume. You're going to pay a little bit more to be in Whitehaven. I think you got a little bit better chance of appreciation, holding your value a little bit better in Whitehaven. But if you're looking for that value, you know what I mean? Like if you're
price to rent value,
if you're concentrating on that, I feel like 38118 is still
the place to go.
Still the place to go.
I don't disagree with that. And to think about the dynamics of 116 versus 118 with the jobs and the stores, and there's youth ministries and different stuff that are happening in 116. If we could just get that going in 118, we'd have a different story with what we just talked about with gangs and
I think that's
people.
coming, Dan. I mean, I think the city. What is your? You know this better than I do, but we're the most. I'm going to say it in a general form.
Philanthropic city in the nation. Yeah,
we donate more money and more time to try in our own city to try to help things than anywhere else. With Salt Lake City second.
We tie, go back and forth. Yeah, it depends on how you do the numbers, but regardless, we're in the top 5.
Right.
No matter where you look at,
giving back
to our city and helping people. I mean, just think, I think
that's a good fact. If I'm an investor and I hear that fact, at least I know that the people of the city where I'm investing in,
we're not giving up.
The city,
that's right.
We're not flushing this place down the toilet.
Right.
I mean,
we're pushing hard.
We're going to recognize that there's problems like everyone else, but the city's biting back. So that's one thing. The grit and grind, so to speak, of the city really shows up with that.
I swear I can't get enough listening to